We're installing over $10,000 in parts on this 2022 Mark 8 Golf R. In this video, we're going to be lowering it, doing some chassis upgrades, motor mounts, and make this car feel amazing behind the wheel. Our boxes are getting smaller, but bigger at the same time. If you see, we have two Miltech boxes. A turbo back system is in the future to look forward to. But in this episode, we do have some exhaust as well as the suspension. This is the non-resonated version of the ECS catback that we just installed, so we're going to give you a little tease of that, let you know what it sounds like, update you on it. We have a lot of parts to install. Kick back, enjoy. Let's get into modifying cars with their two best friends. The first big box is our springs from 034. This is a great first mod if you don't want to do performance lowering them, and Parker's got some of the chassis stuff right there. Those are upper strut bearings. They take a lot of load the way the suspension is designed on this car. You'll see when we take the suspension apart why replacing those could be a good idea. When the bearings wear out, they kind of get noisy and sloppy. This car doesn't have that many miles, so it's getting the special treatment by already getting those replaced. This is a brace that goes by the drive shaft. Just makes the chassis more rigid. These bigger springs are the fronts. They have 034 branding on them. They have this plastic deal to help with vibration, I'm assuming.
This thing is nice.
Oh, that brace is really cool looking. It's all etched out.
That's sick.
Rear subframe inserts. It gets rid of the slop in the rear end, limits movement, keeps the geometry of the suspension consistent so your handling is better. When you launch the car, the rear wheels are digging in. There's less play. It puts the power down to the ground. This is a pair of camster mounts, so it adds camber and caster to the suspension in the front. When you add negative camber and additional caster, the turn-in is better, your corner grip is better. I'm excited to see how this feels. These are pretty cool looking part. I've never installed anything like this personally, so this will be like a first outside of like coilovers where you can adjust the camber with camber plates on top. This is taking the factory suspension and adding what you would normally get from coilovers. But the stock suspension on this car is already pretty good. Wow, these things are legit.
Sick.
This is a nice piece. You can see it's moving the top hat and offsetting it. Really cool looking. There's like rubber inside of it and everything. This car should feel really raw after this, and then when we put the Miltech turbo back on it, it's gonna be a whole new machine. This is the Dogbone mount, so this is gonna get rid of a lot of slop with the transmission. Then you have the insert. There's two styles of inserts. Everyone's done this mod, seen it. 034 makes a really nice billet piece. We've got two different shapes of inserts depending on what car you have. These are the two shapes. We'll see which one this car has, and we'll save the other one in case we have another Golf down the road or MQB car. These are great. I love how these feel. You get a little bit of vibration in the floor, but makes the car you feel more connected to it, and it just feels really nice when you get on the gas. You don't feel any of the engine slop and anything else like that. With the transmission as well, ties them together, much more firm. This is the non-resonated pipe for the catback. There's some comments about the quality of ECS products, and I have no complaints. Companies improve, get worse, change, don't change. I've been seeing ECS parts for a very long time, and I've never had any complaints. I don't take life too serious. It's just not that deep, and I can't.
It is not that deep.
Yeah, literally. I can't think of a single thing to complain about for the price. Like this exhaust, I'm really enjoying it. It's super subtle, but has a nice tone. Then you look at all the welds. These welds look borderline better than some exhausts that I've seen from even bigger companies, and they're just very uniform and it's just nice. The packaging is better than some. So I mean, I don't know what there is to complain about. This would be good to put in the car because that was a little too quiet. You know what I want to figure out right now?
The heck?
The way down it's smooth, the way up it's questionable. take a little measurement on the rear from the fender to the top of the tread. It's about 1 3/4 inches. Then if we head to the front, we're at, to the top of the tread, about 1.5 inches. So the front should drop about 1 inch, the rear should drop about 0.8 of an inch after it's settled. We're not gonna judge it right after we install. We need to drive it for 10, 40, 50 miles. It'll drop a little bit, and then after about 200 miles, I find, you'll really see where those springs settle, and it's actually kind of shocking how much those springs really settle over those 200, 300, 400, 500 mile mark. So don't get bummed when you install springs like this when it comes to ride height. Just expect them to really show their true colors after you drive them quite a bit. I feel like I kind of judged how the fitment was on the S4 a little too early. For the first time, I had done that in a while where I was kind of almost let myself get disappointed. And then after quite a few 100 miles, I was like, whoa, this thing actually looks really good. And it's quite a bit lower than I thought.
Yeah, what did you say about the lift?
To get ready to install, we're gonna go put it on the lift, but you know, we need to mention something. Well, stock height Golf R easily goes on the lift. So long.
See a monster truck?
This will be the last time I ever get to put the car on the lift without having to put wheel chocks or whatever you call them, lifts.
Dang it.
So basically, now moving forward, putting this thing on the lift is just gonna absolutely suck, and I did it to myself.
Sick. Sick.
Sick.
So sick, bro.
If you don't follow Parker and I on Instagram, you're not sick. If you missed the GTA video, come on, that was hilarious. The walk, kind of crazy. It was sick. Devin, who helps run everything here with me, editor Justin, Parker, and then Devin has a big background in the supplement space. He has all the access to make these any basically drink you want or supplement you want. So we're like all talking, hey, let's make a natural energy supplement with a powder that tastes good. You can use it as a pre-workout. You can use it on a hot day like this instead of drinking coffee. Sometimes drink coffee for the taste. Most days lately when it's really hot out, I want to drink something like this on a lot of ice. It's super mellow. It's not bad for you. It's all natural caffeine and ingredients. On the webpage in the description, you can check it out. We all had our hands in it, all 4 of us that work on the videos, and we have something really excited we're working on called High Octane, so you can get early access with the link in the description. You'll get notified when we come out with it. It's just a simple way to support the channel. It's a simple product that has minimal ingredients, and it helps you stay locked in and have high energy levels, and we love it, and we've been testing it, and we're super close to the final formulation. So I just wanted to let you know about that so you can get early access, so when we launch, you know it's there, and we're excited for you to have your hands on it because we've been testing it all the time for the last couple months. I mean, that's the only reason we're uploading weekly right now. I mean, come on.
So locked. Cam just got spidey senses and caught the exhaust. He's so locked in. Almost fell off the table, but he's on that high octane. He got it. Bro said he's gonna pull a car on a lift so fast. Yo, bro, just floor it.
I don't know how to drive. I forgot how does this work?
Is this thing manual, bro?
I think so. Where's the pole?
That front lip looks sexy. I'll go that way more. You're not in the center.
Is that centered?
It needs to go that way.
More?
Yeah, go back. That's good. Straight. This thing's gonna look dirty with springs. Hey, the egg's gonna be egging less when it has springs.
Thanks.
Yep. Welcome, Daddy.
I think this high octane is hitting me right now.
I don't even feel the heat, bro.
I do. All right, now let me burn my knees off. This is the last time it'll ever be this easy.
Wow. Wish my car did that. Psych, no I don't.
I need my gloves for real, for real.
For real, no kizzy. Need gloves.
Oh God, for real, need my gloves out here, man. Look at this, you got me like 10 feet away.
Bro, I told you to go center and you kept turning the wheel left.
No, this is actually like super ideal. Hey, this hood strut though.
Nope.
Is that a Tesla?
Look at the carbon.
The carbon. How much did you pay for all that?
I sold my left nut.
I have one nut now.
So if you have one nut left, is it your right or your left? Or does it become one? Neither.
center balanced. Just one guy hanging in the middle.
Dude, Cyclops, baby. One thing that we might do is I have 10mm spacers and black bolts. Depending on how the fitment looks, we might be able to pull them off, which could look really, really, really good. First things first with the suspension, 13mm right here, all 3 bolts that hold the top hat of the strut to the car. I'm gonna loosen, not gonna remove them. This seal for the hood, you just push out a little bit. And just pull this up. You can get up in here. Those are loose, not off. Now we can go up. This car has dampening options from factory, so I'm gonna look for wires right away. Looks like the plug is right here. That pulls off the side of the strut.
All right, so we fricked up the other side. Oh, frick.
You can tell by Parker's face if he turns it around that we've been wrenching for a while now. We actually completed the driver's side so we can teach you the easiest way. Can confirm this is the easiest way, so follow along step by step, and we're not gonna skip points like every other video we saw and we had to figure some crap out by ourselves. That's lame. Not here. So this comes out 18mm, that hangs out. Perfect. This comes out. We have a ride height sensor right here. It's a little ball head. It's plastic. I'm just gonna get this thing off very carefully so I don't end up breaking it. Okay, popped it off. Now this is free and can move and it's not gonna break. Now what we need to do is get the brakes off and this rotor. Now we have a 21mm. I'm gonna step underneath or underneath, depending if you're on a lift or on the ground. And I'm gonna break loose the caliper bolts.
This angle's so goofy.
What the angle is?
How's the weather down there, bro?
Okay. What I do need is my power ratchet.
It's actually like starting to cool down a little bit.
Look at the overcast, it totally saved us. Okay, so up here, before we pull this off, now that we have those bolts ready to come out, I'm gonna come up here to this bracket. There's a 10mm little bolt. I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna take that little bolt, I'm gonna thread it back into the strut so I don't lose it. Now we're ready to move the brake caliper. We're gonna go around town. Like so.
Here she goes. Got him. You just take this little like top piece right here and pry it up.
Got it.
Oh yeah.
Now it's not pulling on it?
Nah. Now we free, brother. We free.
So that's hanging there. Let's get this rotor off. T30.
Oh boy.
Toe biter.
Nope, he's got it, ladies and gents.
Then we're gonna pop up to get the dust shield off. Thank you. Remember I said I was gonna thread this back in so I don't lose it. Same with these. Now, we're gonna get the axle loose. This is a 24mm 12 point. I had to go to the store for it. I'll leave it in the description. So here's what we're gonna do. Well, I should just do it with the 19.
You should use that, yeah.
Okay, there's that. 19mm 3/8 drive extension. Give her a nice tap. I don't really want to push it any further until we get this leg out. So let's get the steering tie rod off. That is a 21.
Touch that kind of weird.
So I'm gonna put it back on a handful of threads till it's flush with the bolt. Then do
And she's loose.
Put that back so you don't lose it. I disconnected the height sensor. A safer way to do this would be to take off this plastic, and that will give you access to a nut right here that holds the bracket for the height sensor, but since I already did it this way, I'm just gonna leave it. It would be safer, instead of prying on this off that ball joint, to just remove this whole bracket. But I did it this way and just being super careful. But if you're a noob, do it with the bracket off. Now we'll take these off, which were
16s.
yeah. Okay, so our ball joint down here, 3 16 millimeters. Yeah, that's it. Wow.
It just came out.
That was great. Oh, look how short this one is compared to the other side.
It was longer?
Yeah, I think the other side was longer. Nice. Okay, so this should come right out.
Just unbolt the top and
Yeah.
big chillin', boy.
And my mic fell off. What an extreme measure for lowering springs. It's not terrible though. This is where you take your tools and you stay safe, my friends. Try and find an orientation that will work, preferably straight. Then we're gonna take our second one. So the whole goal is to just scrunch them up enough until you know that this will come off. So then I have my oxygen sensor socket, and it should be a 21 with the 22, and it'll actually grip it enough. So I'm gonna put this on loosey-goosey mode. And then I'm gonna take my 7 millimeter Allen head.
Good job.
That felt good. So then you have your friend, Albie Allen.
I'm your friend.
Yes, you happen to be my friend. Now I can get the nut off by hand. Okay, so you're gonna pull this out. Push the lip in, and then it'll like let this out. So now we're gonna replace our top hat bearing and our top hat. And so how you know you have the right top hat is when you put them next to each other. The one in the top left is the passenger side. The one where the hole is on the top right is driver's side. So we have the right one. We already did the other side. The new bearing, the silver side, goes on the spring. So what I like to do is just push this in and it'll pop in, and that's secured. Now we can take the spring off. Now, what? My safety pin's gone?
Blows up.
All right, we're gonna remove our spring compressors. We're gonna grab our spring. They're the same. Run it up in here. Rotate it to its correct position. Kind of hang out there. Slide our bearing and dust shield on. So pay attention to this notch right here. Right there. And then this has a notch right there. And it's gonna go like this. And you don't have to worry about this position left and right because this is a bearing. What you do need to pay attention to is
position at the bottom.
yeah, the position at the bottom, which I need to adjust. That should be good right there. Okay, so now
Yo.
it's tough to find where the spring compressors work if you have it here and here. That way we can get this out and this out. Parker's gonna do that right now. And this rotates. This is all good. Now we are
Back in biz.
Nope, we gotta snug up the top.
Oh, you're right.
This takes a little bit of time.
6.5 hours later. Day 2. 3:28 a.m.
Ow! Okay, that's good.
I'm tired. Hey, Pete, the chicken waffles hat, boy. Had it since 3rd grade. Right, left.
Spring, top hat, everything's ready to go. We're gonna slide the top in first. Nice and deep. We're gonna hold there. You're gonna have your friend if you have one.
That axle in.
Yep, I'm looking through here.
You're lined up, it seems to go in.
So I'm gonna line up my ball joint. Pretty much there.
Is the axle in?
No. There it goes. So you gotta force it a little bit, then line up your ball joint. Let out.
Sheesh.
Slide it up, get the axle in, then put these 3 in right here on the lower control arm. Then you're gonna take your 3 nuts, you're gonna put them on by hand so they don't fall out. That's good to go. I'm reaching my hand up here to feel when it gets close.
Okay, there's one.
Good?
Yeah.
While that's out, take the 12 mil. Snug. Okay. Okay, we can lower the jack and get it out of the way. Picking up the next day, we're gonna put our steering back on and then put everything back together, dust shield. We already did the hard stuff. Get our axle in tight. I'm gonna swap to a 21 millimeter. Get our steering up in here. Get the bolts out that hold the dust shield on. I mean, I don't think this install's as bad as it seems. Do you?
Well, if you do it right the first time.
It's true.
If you tear it half apart and then have to put it half back together, then take it all back apart, then yeah, it kind of sucks, yeah.
Yeah, I did wing it thinking it was like every other car I've worked on, and it wasn't. Traded twice as much work for Parker and I. Love that. Torx T30.
So before you put the strut in, make sure that this is on the other side. So you don't gotta take the bottom off like us.
Right? Yes. Don't do this. It's not the same on both sides. Luckily this isn't hard to remove.
Yeah, no biggie. Booyah.
Nice.
Now where's the nut for it? Right here.
Oh.
Oh.
Sweet. Brake rotor.
Oh, does he got it?
Yeah.
Now the caliper.
And now we need the caliper bolts, the big boys. These things are always huge.
Up and around. It's a good sized caliper.
Yeah, like the Golf R, they kind of didn't hold back with the brakes.
Want me to hold that there while you...
I got it. First
This
one.
can be a one-man job, ladies and gents.
Indeed. Okay, let's put our wires and all this nonsense back. The technology.
All that goddamn tech.
All that damn technology, son. And back in my day, we didn't have none of that bullshit.
Back in my day, we just slapped the spring on, call it a day.
Yeah, we just cut the spring, son. I think you went like this.
That goes like down.
Yeah. Got it. And this one,
Goes right there.
plug it in.
Is that all the way?
Yep. This is a nice little warm up for the downpipe. If you know what I'm saying. I think you'll have a good time with me. Where'd my 10 mil go?
Oh boy, not the 10. Some fresh high octane, baby.
It's a new day. Getting started right. Super light.
Oh, that was a bar.
That was a bar?
That was a bar.
Bars only. Well, I don't have the 10 millimeter I was looking for, so I grabbed the second 10 millimeter. You know how that goes.
Oh boy. Well, this goes right here.
Right there. Oh, there.
Yeah, your bolt isn't tight. Silly goose.
You were saying we were acting sus yesterday. You're starting it today. Now these rubber pieces are pushed back in. This one's not even in there. There we go. Brakes check. Caliper bolts, don't want to forget those. A 16. Buttery smooth. Okay, last little check. Did we tighten the top hats? Yes, because we put everything back together. Spring is good. Electronics are plugged in, put back, steering's tight. Link for the sway bar tight. Brake caliper tight. Rotor on. Wires tight. We're good.
Now to the back.
Yeah, should be a lot more straightforward. Onto the rear. So we're gonna grab a T25 Torx. We're gonna come right over here. As you can see, the passenger side is already in. Now we're gonna hop over to the driver's side. The only difference with the driver's side is that you have this height sensor. So we're gonna take this out so you don't break it because it's expensive. 10 millimeter. Let's get this cover off. And then you'll feel it come off. But up top here, there's some little plastic pins. It's really hard to see up in here. These two right there. So we can set this aside. We're gonna grab our pole jack or a floor jack, depending if you're doing this on the ground or a lift, most likely the ground, so you'd use a floor jack here. All I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna get crazy with it yet, I'm just gonna support it. A little bit of pressure to hold it there. Now we have really straightforward tools. We have a 13 open end wrench and a 13 socket. 13 mil on my sway bar end link. And I'm gonna loosen them until it's all the way out. Quite the long bolt. Put these together so I don't lose them. All right, we're done with the 13 for now. We're swapping to 18 for the next two. 18 on the outside of the shock. Now the goal is to get just enough pressure and figure out so that this bolt can slide out. Sometimes it won't ever get there. Came out easy, didn't damage the threads. And then, this is where things can get explosive, so really make sure that you have a pole jack or a floor jack underneath. I'm gonna leave that there. I think it wants more pressure. The goal is to not damage the threads. Totally good. Put our nut on so we don't mix anything up. Now this is where it shocked me when I did the other side. I thought it was loose and then it wasn't. See, like it's free, it thinks it's free, and it's gonna pop out of here. I forget what you call these.
Pecker.
Works. Have your pecker. There it goes. So I just stuck this in here and then pried it out. That way it doesn't just explode on you. Then we can lower it and have spring pressure on it. Just get this out of the way. We're gonna pull this arm down. The bottom of the spring has a nice insulated spot it attaches to, so you really gotta wiggle it off and carry it like this to your table. Now I have the letters facing upright. I'm gonna set it on the table, make sure everything looks okay. Pull off this insulation piece and then find the end point right here. And it will slide into place. Then we can slide this in the car. Let's make sure this slides on. Yeah, it looks like it's happy place. All right, now we have our pressure on it. This is where we start lining up things. So this shock is gonna wanna get lined up right away. I already have it too high. Slide the shock through there. The next thing I'm gonna do is get this end link lined up. Looks pretty promising. for the big guy on the corner here. You got your bushing right here that can move, so that can sometimes cause a headache or 3. But don't worry, I'm gonna put some pressure. Then I'm gonna grab onto the whole hub and spindle.
It's like that way.
And you just gotta walk it in there, and then you can pull it down by hand. All right, I'm using this as an alignment tool. I'm gonna put my pry bar in here. That'll get it in place. Now we take all of the nuts. The 2 big ones are the same. Grab the small one. It's on the other side here. Good for the ears. That's tight. That's snug. Swapping to a 13 wrench and a 13 socket. That's good to go. Torx bit back on for our height sensor. No, she dead. It's fine, I'll just use this. Old school. Back in my day, we had to ratchet it all. Yeah, back in my day, we didn't have lithium ion. Should we take them along for lunch with us?
Yeah.
All right, now we can get the pull jack out. You can take over this segment.
What, lunchtime?
Yeah.
All right, lunch break.
Today's lunchtime segment, we're making smash burgers. All right, Justin, help me out on that. All right, ground beef, check. Mustard, check. Ketchup, check. Cheese, check. Butter, check.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is this news?
Yeah.
Breaking news. So when you get the patty pressed once, then you put a little bit on the grill and it starts sizzling, and then you flip it onto it and let it sizzle in the mustard. Just a little bit.
Really good.
I like it.
Do you have buns or not?
Yeah.
Bro, this bread smells so good.
Oh, why is it so soft?
Country time, I guess.
Just fake?
Yeah. 1/3 cup of beef per patty. Can't live without.
Smells good.
Mm-hmm. Burger press. Last thing I want to do to get mine right.
It's hot. Sweating. Follow me on Instagram, boy. Sheesh, hot. Great.
All right, hold this one up a little bit. Then I'll flip it onto that. I'll get this ready.
Oh yeah, boy. Nice and crispy.
Just the way we like it. Straight up in and out on steroids.
In and out without 40 ingredients.
We are ready to do our subframe inserts. I already lowered this or loosened it. 18mm bolt. I need to get a pry bar to get that one out. You stick a pry bar in there, twist up like that, it'll come out. We're gonna push that in like that. Stick our bolt up.
Easy.
90 Newton meters. That impact almost got it perfect. Let's do the other side in the rear. We're gonna take the front one off.
Boom.
Rear subframe insert's done. Now we can do the exhaust since we're in the back already. We're gonna do this section right here to get rid of this resonator. I believe these are 15, if I remember right. Oh, and then we're gonna do this bar right here. So loosen this clamp, loosen this clamp. Now, I wanna get this bar out of here. So those look like 13s, I think. Yep. Break them loose and then take them off by hand. Here's the factory one. There's Jesse. His brother found me through the channel, so they take care of the house now. All right, this is our Lord and Savior. We got a hanger up here. One down. And one up in this corner. Oh, you're okay.
Oh, there he goes.
Perfect. There we go. You can see the difference now. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but
it's going. Nope.
That WD-40 did help. All right, so now we can directly pop this one over here. Looks like we got a little bit of an issue. Pull this up.
Like a glove.
Bingo. This one's so much lighter, easier to move around. That's good. Got it up in that hanger. Need to get it in here. Got the hanger back on. So for this part, I want the tips to stay up and looking nice. So I'm gonna pull down right here and then tighten this. Cool.
Yeah.
That works for me. All right, this should be a little bit louder. As you can see, we now have a straight piece and it fit really nice. Last stop of the day, Dogbone pendulum mount.
Now we gotta do the...
Oh yeah, the brace. Slide this up into place. It's like really, really tight and it's recessed. That's why I don't think that it's possible. 10. Yeah, that makes life a lot easier. Those don't come out. Let's make light work of this. Just a subtle flex. These are plastic, so don't blow those out. Cool, that looks really nice. Looks like it would be on like a Lamborghini or something. Today's side quest, we're headed out to Cinder Hills in Flagstaff, Arizona to ride some dirt bikes. It's an OHV area. This place is really interesting. It's very different than what I've ever ridden. The Cinder Hills OHV area spreads across 13,500 acres of volcanic terrain. It's located just northeast of Flagstaff. This is great for any off-road enthusiast. The landscape was shaped by volcanic activity. It's now dormant Sunset Crater volcano, which erupted a long time ago. It left giant fields of volcanic cinders, creating a distinctive and challenging terrain that feels like you're riding in a sandbox of little pebbles that are lava. So different from anything I've ever ridden. It's like we're on a different planet. Yeah, the best way to put it, we're on a different planet. It's just confusing because you see trees, but then the ground's black. Yeah. This is so weird. What the heck? What the heck? This is weird. Like, I have never.
It's literally like we're on a different planet. It's actually so nice out too. The breeze feels good.
Shut her down.
Only one thing left to do now.
We're so chilling. I was stressing about the weather gonna be hot.
Yeah, that's actually nice.
Yeah, it's not hot. If you were here for the Bronco build, shout out Rough Country. I got some chairs out of it.
First thoughts? The hills are massive. Crazy. We have a great view. And it's like if the dunes are soft but grippy, this is soft and slippery in its own way. It's interesting.
Weird.
Yeah, and hearing all the rocks like flick up on your bike is different. It really feels like we're riding on a volcano.
Oh yeah. Part of it too is the elevation with the bikes. You have less horsepower too.
Yeah.
It goes. Look how high it goes up there.
Yeah.
This is when the 350 is like the perfect bike. You need that low end torque to get through this soft stuff. Look at the views. Wow. I wonder if we can make up that hill. That is so big. This hill is huge. That one's 4 times as big. Oh, frick. This is so slippery. Gotta be careful because it's like slippery. I can just slide. Eat up it. It's sketchy when it's downhill because you have no stopping power here. No, if you hit the brakes, you just slide. Bro, good thing I got a new tire. If I had that other tire, I would not be making it up anything. Whoa, whoa. It's a volcanic sand dunes. Our big hill, our side hill, whoops behind us. This looks like it'd be fun to go up, a little sketchy but fun. You don't realize how steep it is. You're like, oh, we're on flat ground, and then you get stuck and you look down and you're like, this is like a 90-degree angle.
That would be fun though.
Dude, we'd have to come in hauling off this trail. 4th wide until 3rd and 2nd, and hopefully that you're at 1st by the zip top. You can get too much speed going downhill and not be able to hit a corner. Wow, I did not realize how uphill we were going. Feels so good. Ow, ow, ow. Wow. It's like an actual volcano. It just gets more interesting. Like how it goes from light dirt to black to dust to no dust. The green out there. You ain't making of that. You don't think? Nah. You watch from here. I'm gonna run up halfway, see what happens.
Bro, you almost took me out.
Bro, I was like, I'm gonna hit this and impale myself, or Parker's gonna crash, so I chose you crash.
Thanks.
You saved it good.
Yeah, thanks.
Was that front brake just...
Yeah, I just dug her into those Durocs.
No idea what's about to happen. Glass bottle. Oh boy, this is huge. Holy crap, this is huge.
Bro, better pin it. Echoes, holy. Oh, that's so sick.
On another bike, on another bike. Don't want to fall, don't want to fall, big rocks. Holy crap. I gotta get way more speed.
Nice, can you get back up this? Oh, this stuff's soft. Echoes so much. Oh. There he is. That is so funny. It's so loud, dude, that FMF. Oh my God.
I was like, oh, it's not that steep, and I just like am at the part where it looks flat, and it's just like, I'm like, oh no. I'm like, this thing's gonna blow up on Redline right now. We're in the middle of nowhere. That is big. That makes dunes. This was a mistake. This was a mistake. Gosh dang.
This John's steep. This brings the crap out of camp.
Glad you made it out. He's like, where'd he go?
I feel bad, but I don't use that brake. I'm gonna die. Oh, that's kind of sick.
Dang it.
Oh man.
Oh shucks.
I'm trying to get the kit bloody.
Parker meet ground, ground meet Parker.
We've met before. Oh!
You guys are besties today. So fun. So fun. Bike's looking good. It's like the dunes, but even more slick because there's no paddle at least. Woo! There it is. Get me the water. Feels so good.
We'll give you a little look at the bikes, the aftermath, and we're gonna go get some food. Pro tip, learn this from old Dwayne, my dad, the goat. He's for the boys. 2 clean microfibers, dunk them in the ice chest, wipe your face, your hands. Here you go, bro. Oh.
Feel like a new man, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh.
Little do you realize your head's so hot.
Do we got some boys coming?
Oh.
We had some nice comments in the last video about the little segment about men's mental health. One guy that was in the military had a friend that took his own life, and that's really heavy stuff, and Parker and I go deep on mental health all the time, so we're talking about messaging and figuring out how we want to go about things and create something even deeper than what we already have going on for you guys to get behind with us. So we're working on that messaging, and we'll talk more about it down the road, but definitely want to take a moment and pause and be serious every episode for just a second to look out for our brothers. Park's driving home. I'm supposed to be doing a proposal on my laptop, typing up business stuff, and I am dragging. Someone makes me up something. This is a prime example of when I would use this. All right. It's in the process. Want a whiff?
Where else are you gonna
All right, how much you trying to rip? Full, half, quarter?
Half. We look like drug addicts.
You can use it as pre-workout. You can use it as a pick-me-up. Clean burn, doesn't make you feel weird. So it only has a handful of ingredients and not like 30 like any other popular big pre-workout or energy supplement that makes you feel whack. So we're doing testing, so we're like taking it with us everywhere.
Sheesh, look at that. Hey, you gotta twist me on, I can't one-handed.
Light, refreshing. Back on the road. If you want to support us in this venture and give it a shot, there's a early sign up link in the description. It'll take you to a page. You can read all about it, what's in it, what it's about, how it's motorsport focused. You'll really appreciate all Devin's design work, putting our heads together. And when it comes out, you'll be the first to know. And you can grab it, try it, let us know what you think, help us beat it up, and see if we can make it better or it's good as is. This is the Dogbone mount right here, aka the pendulum mount, and we are attached to the transmission, to the chassis, so you can feel this in your seat, in your butt dyno, everything else like that. And so Humble Mechanic had some good tips, helped me do this faster. Love his channel and the tips he has. And he also has some great footage of showing the difference of what happens when you put this mount on here. So Editor Justin can throw that on screen for a sec or two, so I appreciate him for documenting that and risking his camera underneath here. From his video, I took the tips of right here, our end links, I detached them already with an 18mm wrench. You see this one right here? I just took it off really quick, and then we're gonna go right here and go straight to our subframe bolts. They're 13mm, and this is just gonna make our life a lot easier to get this insert in here, in this mount, which you'll see in a second. We're gonna come over here and grab these two 13. This holds the sway bar to the subframe. It looks kind of scary down here at first, or at least I used to think it was. See, our sway bar is loose now. After being around Brandon in the S4 when we did those motor mounts, this stuff doesn't scare me anymore. So I'm gonna set these here. I'm gonna take my 21mm on the impact, pull out this mount right here. We have replacement bolts since these are stretch bolts from 034, their kit. The new bolts right here, I took them out of the package, and then the insert we can also touch on really quick. These cars, the MQB chassis, S3, RS3, GTI, Golf R. These Dogbone mounts have two different types of inserts they use all the time, and 034 does a great job of describing what's what, but you can see this is the one that goes in mine. But some of the other cars, it's this shape, which doesn't work for mine, so they sent out both to me for video purposes to show you. So that's that. We'll come back to that. So let's get the 18mm bolts off the stock Dogbone mount. Pay attention to how long this bolt is and how short that one is. And then we should be able to slide this one out. Here's the stock factory one, flexes a lot. This joint right here is a little bit looser. Next thing we need to do is take the upper part of the insert and slide it down in. You're gonna wanna have it in this orientation, opening on the bottom and then the curved part out. And you can look from the bottom like I am and see where this insert goes, and then look up in that insert. I wanna lube it. It needs lube. So slippery now. It's close. Oh. All right, there it goes. All right, now it's sitting in there uniform. It's the perfect shape. It's real obvious once you get it in. Now I'm gonna do this. Because after that, I don't want to deal with it. Okay, now we'll use a pry bar if we need to. See this socket right here? This is a 21mm 1/2" drive chromey, real thin. It'll fit in here. My other socket wouldn't. I had to go to the store to buy this just now. So plan for that. If you only have impact sockets like I do, up to 21. So you're gonna stick it in here. We're just gonna get it snug, and then we gotta figure these out. Where'd the long one go? On the inside. All right, this is where you don't want to strip, and that's like at an angle. So I'm gonna do this by hand. See, I don't like that. So I'm gonna find somewhere. I think if I push on this, just barely, it'll move forward. You gotta be careful with these cases. It's not gonna take much. Oh, maybe I can go through here. Oh, that works. Where's the bolt? I have it right here. I stuffed it through the subframe. I have it on the other upper part of metal.
How are you unscrewing it?
Why? This one's being more problematic. They really do fight each other. All right. This one's 130 plus 90, basically as tight as you can possibly get it when you're my genetics. I can't get any tighter, there's no shot. Milwaukee for the win. The other ones were, I've written down, 50 Newton meters. Not as tight as you would think. 50 Newton meters. We're done.
Is that it?
We're done in the heat.
Let's go. I'm sweating so much.
Oh no, just kidding, I gotta put the sway bars back. All right, this should for real be the last bolts. Exhaust, tight. This is tight. This is tight. Subframe bolts are tight. Exhaust tips are where they should be. Springs feel solid. Ride height sensors in. Hubs are on. Ride height sensor on. All these bolts are tight, tight, tight. Steering's attached. So make sure, yep. This is in. This is looking good for some new vibes and this butt dyno. I call it good. We're ready for the wheels. This thing's gonna look thug now.
For the grand finale.
Will the wheels look better? Will the wheels fit with 10mm spacers? We're about to find out.
Hopefully. With spacers and low, it'll look gangster.
I'm excited. What? These go in here? Oh, that's nice. Hub-centric ring first, spacer, then the wheel.
Those just from Amazon?
The lugs or the lugs?
The lugs.
Oh, they're from ECS. It's a kit. I'll link in the description. How are we feeling? Oh, it's gonna fit.
Oh, it's gonna be perfect. Long day, my friend.
Long day, and we're gonna end it by getting some gas drinks for the boys doing the yard work to pass on the good vibes. All right, what do we got for us? Monster truck height, let's see it. Are the lift arms gonna come out? I think they will this first time until the springs settle. I'm honestly thankful because I don't wanna get chocks out. This thing needs a wash.
It does, she dirty.
Look at the front fitment. Oh.
Way more flush.
Clean.
Just gonna get better too as it settles.
Yeah, facts. It's gonna turn so good.
Already looks meaner.
Oh my gosh, whose focus says tease that?
It's hot, right?
All right, now just don't hit the pole or Rex. Oh, dude, the front already looks so much better, I can tell. Two eggs. Ooh, it looks good.
Can you see it already?
Yeah, look.
Yeah. The
rear needs to settle.
The rear's gonna settle a lot. This looks a lot better. The spacers are huge.
The front with the front lip looks so dirty.
Yeah, I gotta be careful now. The exhaust should be louder. Can't tell yet because the AC's blasting. Whoa, the wheel feels different. Whoa.
Really?
Sensitive, yeah. A degree of caster and a degree and a half of camber will do a lot. I mean, the steering wheel is almost straight. The alignment will fix that. Me and Parker are out working. So are the boys on the yard. So we got to take care of Jesse and his dad. Got to give them some of my favorite Gatorades. I don't know about you.
They skirted off.
Oh no. Well, they left, so we'll put these in the garage for next time that they're here. Outside of initial reactions, I put some miles on the car. And let's talk about all these modifications, the things you spend your money on. So the exhaust without the resonator. So the non-resonated ECS tuning catback. You have a lot more of the vroom noise, the resonance. You have a resonator to remove resonance. And simply put, it really does do that. And with this motor, specifically and the noises it makes, that little resonator does wonders. The resonated version of this catback sounds like a slightly upgraded factory exhaust with cooler exhaust tips. The non-resonated version sounds like I just got an aftermarket exhaust And now everyone can hear it in the car and outside the car a little bit more. So think about it as, if I get the resonated version, it's because I want the inside of the car to sound stock still, but I want the outside to sound a little bit better. If you get the non-resonated version, think about it, I want it to sound a little bit louder inside and close to stock, but a little bit cooler outside. To me, that should be able to help you make a decision on what's best for you if you're interested in this catback. With a stock downpipe, I like the non-resonated version more. I can still hear the turbo a ton, but I get a little bit more noise in here that can entertain me while I'm driving. I'm gonna put this into Nürburgring mode thanks to one of you in the comments. It really does have way more aggressive mapping, but I'll let you hear that resonance right now. If you put headphones on, you can hear this. It's just boo all the time, and unless you're in a really high gear. So when you're driving around town, you're driving spiritedly, you have this constant noise. Where the other setup, it was more quiet and then noisy when you got on it and then not quiet. Now it's the D-cell is a lot louder with the non-resonated version because that's all just resonance type noise. Straightforward. I want to talk about the personality change next that the camster mounts bring along with the new bearings. Now this car doesn't have that many miles on it. And if you're interested in a low mile 2022 Golf R, I have a link in the description for a Cars and Bids auction early sign up. This car is fun. It's nice that it's a little louder, but that early sign up link will notify you when this car goes live on Cars and Bids. But since this thing doesn't have very many miles, the bearings on top of the struts that allow the front end to turn and the springs and everything and all that to rotate, replace that with the camster mounts. Mainly speaking of the camster mounts, the added caster and the negative camber, this thing drives like a go-kart now. The steering was already good, but with just a simple mod, you don't realize how much different, like this is a perfect scenario, like you can really turn this thing and dig it in, and then when you get on the gas on the way out or halfway through the corner, the all-wheel drive kicks in, and that's where like the Golf R does Golf R things, which is fun. But the turn, it takes the steering wheel from, oh, I'm turning the car, to like you barely touch it and you're like, whoa, like we're really turning. So the steering input is minimized. So when you're in the hills or in a canyon drive or something like that, or you're on the track, I mean, your turn-in is just right there, and the car just handles like it's on rails compared. And now what's going to be fun is when the rear sway bar shows up, and it's going to take it to that next level, and this car is going to be comfortable but agile as all get out. The only con is that it does add a little bit of tire noise, in my opinion, and resonance in the cab from the road because of the billet material. It's sitting against the chassis. But is it anything that scares me or bums me out in daily driving? No. Like, you'd have to be really picky about your daily driver to not want to do those because this noise. You know when you ride in a Prius and it just feels super hollow and you're like, man, this thing's a piece of crap, like as far as structurally or sound deadening wise, and you just hear a lot of like noise of like the road. You get that type of tone, I believe, from these camster mounts, but it's not a level where it makes the car feel cheap. It's just more personality. You hear it a little bit more. The steering is so much different. I'll take that 10 out of 10 times. The other thing adding noise and vibration, which is minimal, is the Dogbone mount insert. This feels great in the pedal and the floor. Everyone talks about how this mount adds vibration to the floor in your seat. This 2020, the Mark 8s, especially the Golf R, has so much insulation and it's well insulated and just feels super nice. It's not like the Mark 7 where I could feel it a lot, or like the Mazda Speed 3 or Focus ST when you change this same style of mount. You feel a big difference in the floor. This car, it's like just barely, because the thing is so nice. Well insulated, all the above. So I wouldn't be scared of it at all, but the car taking off of lights, like the shifting, everything is so solid. You can feel it in the pedal, you can feel it in your seat. It really tightened everything up as far as the drivetrain and the engine movement and all that. It's really consistent now, and you'll really like it. The older I get, the more I don't need mods in cars to have fun. For me, it's just like getting out, seeing what the car's about, but I continue to modify, and I find myself still interested in it, making videos like this, because as much as you can enjoy it the way it is, it's still so fun, and I know it will be for you, to just feel the difference and how much better it can be with simple modifications. Like that Dogbone mount is such a simple concept to me, but it really does make the driving experience that much more fluid. You feel more connected, and that's like, I used to just be like, oh, let's modify it to modify it. It's fun. I'm more so doing it, I like to turn wrenches, but I also like to feel more connected to my cars without taking it too far. And that's really what I'm looking for. And a lot of the reason why I'm interested a lot of the times in the Volkswagen Audi cars and 034 is they're orientated into that. It's like, how do we take what's already existing, what's already good, and make it just a little bit better? It's not about adding twin turbos and making a ton more horsepower. It's just how do we make it a little more fun to where it's worth it. You're investing into your car a little bit, you're putting nice parts, and you feel more connected, and you're taking something that's already great and making it just a little bit better and keeping it comfortable. Like, that's really all it comes down to, especially with all the mods like in this video. The lowering springs, the car looks a lot better. I've been trying to put as many miles as I can on it. I've only probably got 120 on it since I put the lowering springs on, and I feel like the rear needs to settle a little bit more, but the car definitely is a lot more responsive and it looks a lot nicer. The front end is quite a bit lower. The rear is a little bit attack stance still. I know it will settle a little bit more, maybe after 200 more miles or so, but I'll show you in a little bit what it's looking like right now. Man, this thing. The non-resonated version of this catback too, the shifts, you can feel it in your seat a little bit more. I remember when I got this car, I was like, I don't know. I've just fallen in love with it. I'm really curious about the GTI, if I would like it more than this. The rear subframe inserts, I feel like I'm losing a little bit of comparison thoughts because I'm distracted by the Dogbone pendulum mount and the camster mounts. But the whole car feels so solid now from those three mods that we put on in this video. You don't realize that this car had a lot of jelly like roll and play in the drivetrain. These three simple mods we did in one day, those three, and then the lowering springs, I mean, it's not necessary. It would still feel just as stiffened up. It's just a nice touch. And the thing that's fun is these cars can be driven really slow and really fast, and you kind of don't, it doesn't really tell you what it wants, it kind of just matches your energy. But after you stiffen up the chassis just a little bit, it really makes it easy to drive the car a little bit more aggressively and not feel like bad about it. It's what I notice. I find myself being a little bit more aggressive off of lights because I don't feel anything flexing. And that's a big win of, okay, if I'm gonna spend this money on parts, how's it gonna affect the long haul ownership of this car? And the more time you spend enjoying it, the more time, you know, you're spending money on something that you paid outright for or you pay monthly for, which is this car that you got to enjoy it while you had it. So that's what I hope I can bring clarity on. And you don't, like I said earlier, like you don't need these mods. You're free to do whatever you want. I mean, you can enjoy, I have fun with this car stock. I'd drive it all the time. I'd take it out with my friends and do whatever. But I'm here to document and share with you, what is it like when you add these mods? Is it worth it? And some of these are gonna pop out to be like, yeah, I want that out of my car. I don't really care for that. And I just hope it brings clarity on where you spend your money, where you spend your time wrenching, what's worth it. Maybe you find out, you know what, I connected with Cam on that, and maybe I shouldn't put any money into it because I am having fun with it and it's not necessary. Because a lot of times, at least especially when I was younger, it was, oh, I feel like I gotta do this so it's cooler, so look, da 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 da. It's like, nah, you don't need to. This car will be aggressive if you want it to. We need to do our measurement. This is about 130 miles. So top of the tread, the fender, 1.1 inches. Rear, I am hoping will settle a little more, but it needs a couple hundred more miles. Tread to fender, about 1.5 inches. So that's where we're at. It's a little bit high for my aesthetic liking, but 034 airs on the performance side, and that's fine. It still looks good. I mean, the car looks killer. If you're looking forward to the next modification video, I'll leave it right here. And if you want to know more about the resonated versus non-resonated and go on a rant with me, I'll have that video here so you know exactly what you need to buy if you're looking into this exhaust.